Yes. Yo. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. We are back again just before the Fulham game. It's going to be an interesting one. Make sure we hit the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn on notification bells on. All of that. We're going to be diving in interesting news popping up at this moment in time regarding Arsenal and Ivan Toney. There is an investigation taking place as we speak. It's mad, an investigation, trying to find out if Arsenal can actually get this deal done. It seems that Mikel Arteta is really pushing behind the scenes to try and make this happen. In fact, it's one of his non-negotiables. He's basically telling Arsenal he wants this deal done now. He wants it done in January. And there's a number of reports suggesting the same thing at this moment in time. Let's dive straight in. Make sure we are hitting the like button, do subscribe, all of that type of stuff. I much appreciate every single one of you, man. A happy New Year, all of that. It's New Year's Eve. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the rest of your day and go out and live life this evening. I've got a lovely restaurant booked for me and my partner, and we're gonna enjoy the evening as well. So make sure you hit that like button. Yeah, we're gonna go into 2024 with a bang. I need you guys to subscribe, turn your notification bells on. Videos, content dropping every single day. I'm telling you now. Check out the videos that we dropped this morning or earlier today. We've got more dropping as well. So make sure you check that stuff out. But let's dive straight into this. So Mikel Arteta really pushing to try and get a deal done with Ivan Toney. And I want to start with a report that's been published not so long ago. In fact, it was a couple of days ago this report was published. And we're going to dive in and find out more about this FFP stuff as well, because we're getting told about FFP, right? Arsenal are not trying to get deals done or can't get deals done because FFP is a problem, this, that, the other. Now, let's not be fooled. Arsenal have done fantastically well over the past couple of years financially, and we're going to explain that. I'm going to explain that in this video, so don't go anywhere, all right? Arsenal have done well financially, and we're going to explain it, and there's a lot to actually get through. Anyway, Fabrizio Romano, what he said a couple of days ago is Arteta, what he says is we have certain targets on and ideas for the January window. And this is when he was questioned about the January window in, I think, his last press conference. He says, we don't know how the squad is going to look in 2 weeks' time. It's a very tricky market that shifts quite quickly. And that's what he says. That's what he says. But the main point we want to take from this is that we have certain targets and ideas. So Mikel Arteta is literally letting us know that Arsenal right now they know they've got targets. They know who they want to go for. They're looking at what they can do financially to get those deals done. That is basically what that is telling you, right? And then we get a next report published today by The Independent. And what they're saying is Arsenal are investigating whether a deal can be done for Ivan Toney this January, as Mikel Arteta wants the Brentford forward and now leans towards a striker for this window's business. So it sounds like behind the scenes, Arsenal have now come to the conclusion that they need a striker. They need someone that they can have in the number 9 position that can guarantee them goals. Because right now, if you look at the front line, we're not guaranteeing no goals. Today is a game against Fulham at 2 o'clock kickoff. We won't be doing a watch along, but we probably will be back at some point today to do some sort of match reaction, or maybe we might just leave it to the morning. But today is another test, another big test for our attackers, because Eddie, Jesus, Saka, and Martinelli. Saka's probably got the most GA out of all 4 of the players. However, the amount of goals that they have scored combined is very questionable. Very questionable. And I think this is starting to make Mikel Arteta feel uncomfortable. He knows this is a season where there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of demands, there's a lot of expectation. We need to deliver this season. And Mikel Arteta knows off the back of last season, we need to deliver. And based on, just them looking at what the general consensus is telling them across the board, Arsenal need to win a trophy. Arsenal need to win something major. Arsenal need to do something spectacular this season. So I think Mikel Arteta has now got to a point where he's saying, you know what, I think we need a striker. There might be 1 or 2 other players, maybe, that come through the door. But Arsenal are now focused on getting themselves a striker, according to what the Independent are saying, and they will try and get something done, according to what Mikel Arteta was saying. So now we've got this situation that we're dealing with, and that's the FFP situation, because that's what we keep getting told. Everyone keeps saying, well, Arsenal are contemplating their next move because FFP, etc., etc. Now, I don't think there is a FFP situation whatsoever. I don't think there is an FFP situation whatsoever with Arsenal, and I think the media have got it all wrong. I think the media have totally got it all wrong. And one of the reasons I say that is because of the regulations of FFP. You have two types of regulations here, and we're going to run through them. Two types of regulations. One is the UEFA FFP regulations, and then we have the Premier League FFP regulations as well. So there's two types of regulations, and based on what Arsenal have done, let's just quickly focus on what Arsenal have done financially over the past couple of years. Now, there has been terminations of contracts, and Arsenal have had to, shell out the money on those contracts. So let's obviously remember that, and that obviously affects us. It affects our accounts. It affects our numbers overall, doesn't it? However, Arsenal as a business, from the research that I've personally done, generate about 700 million annually. Yeah, and the overheads for the business are around about 450 million. Now, I was doing that research maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, perhaps. But since then, Arsenal have made significant improvements, and that comes with more money. So on that basis, Arsenal have generated more money. One of those improvements is now qualifying for the Champions League. That gives us more money. We've already achieved 77 million just for qualifying for the group stage, for the knockout rounds of the Champions League. So that's even more money. We also slashed our wage bill, and this makes perfect sense for one of these regulations, which we are going to run through. This makes perfect sense for one of the regulations because we've also slashed our wage bill. So that has saved Arsenal a lot of money, and that relaxes and alleviates any kind of pressure that comes with FFP. So it also means Arsenal have a lot of financial availability. Now, I know we've given out new contracts recently, so Arsenal have to kind of be sensible. That's one thing we can say. Arsenal will have to be sensible about what type of player they're going to attract, how much money they're going to spend on a player, the whole total package. But I don't think there's any stopping Arsenal from actually saying, you know what, if we want to get Ivan Toney done, we can get it done. Now, there's media reports suggesting that 100 million is what Brentford want. I think that's total rubbish. I don't think Brentford are going to be holding out for 100 million. The max Brentford are going to hold out for Ivan Toney is going to be about 60 million. Do Arsenal, because the question will be next, do Arsenal have 60 million plus a 5-year contract with whatever that wage will be and the bonuses? Do they have that available to offer right now? Can they put that on the table? Can they say, yes, we can commit to that right now? That's the question. Based on the amount of money that Arsenal generate, based on what Arsenal have done so far this season, the packages that they've given out so far on players, the amount of money they've accumulated over the course of the last 12 months, yes, they can. Arsenal can actually go to the bank right now and say, you know what? We can afford to put 60 to 70 million pounds down on the table right now, and FFP ain't telling us nothing. Now, let's run through these FFP regulations. Now, you wait for FFP regulations. Let's see if I can just get this on the screen more clearly, just for you guys. If we can scroll up. I don't want to see 90 mins. I want to see there we go. There we go. Is that better for you guys? Big up every single one of you guys in the building. Make sure we are hitting the like button, yeah? Hit that like button. Arsenal v Fulham today as well. Make sure you get your score predictions in. Let me just see what this poll's saying. I know I put a poll up. Do we need Ivan Toney this January? In my opinion, yes, we do. Ivan Toney is so important. Big up the assembled. Big up Darth Mole. I see you, broski. Big up Just Ads. Big up Footy Chats. Mafia Boss. Alex Richardson. I see you, broski. Not about love and respect to the raw ones in the building, man. Big up Gamer Pro. He says we don't actually need Ivan Toney. We have Eddie Nketiah. Matting. But 80% of you actually say yes, we need Ivan Toney. For me, if we sign Ivan Toney in the January window, it almost guarantees Arsenal can win that Premier League, because that's all we need right now. I think everything else, maybe a midfielder, just based on the balance that we have at this moment in time. True, say we do have a few players coming back from injury, but you know, just on the balance that we have at the moment, we could maybe say, yeah, let's bring ourselves in that creative spark, someone that can, like a Martin Zubimendi, but I think that might be a bit too much for Arsenal to get done in the January window. Maybe a loan. That's where the loan comes into place. In terms of putting the money down on the table for a striker, I think Arsenal can do that. And then if we need the extra bit of backup, yeah, we're looking at a loan. I'm looking at a loan that we could potentially turn permanent come the summer. All right. But again, make sure we are hitting the like button, and we will run through these regulations. I just want to quickly put up another poll. Let's end this one. 82% of you actually want Ivan Toney. Yeah. So what I want to ask you guys is, you know what? I actually forgot the question. I actually forgot what I wanted to ask you guys. Let me just see. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. I'm going to leave it on that. I'm going to leave it there for a minute, and then I'll get back to the poll. All right, cool. Make sure we are hitting the like button. So the UEFA FFP regulations, it says here, you've probably read it by now. UEFA FFP rules have altered over the years, with the latest adjustments arriving. This is last summer in the wake of COVID pandemic. I want to let you guys know that this article is from 2023, but this part of the article has been taken from a part that he had on this page back in 2022 or 2021, when he first kind of brought the FFP regulation edit to their website. And this is 90min.com, by the way. But it says UEFA's new rules allow clubs to incur losses of 60 million euros over a 3-year period, compared to the previous allowance, which is only 30 million euros. A spending cap on wages, transfers, and agent fees is to 70% of clubs' total revenue. Total revenue. Remember, Arsenal, how much money Arsenal are generating. Total 70% of their total revenue by 2025-2026 has also been introduced. Clubs are also required to settle overdue payables in specified timeframes. Okay, there are also new sanctions in place should clubs fail to adhere to any of UEFA's regulations. So that's the standout one there. That's the only thing that is stopping Arsenal right now, according to the media. A spending cap on wages, transfers, and agent fees of 70% of clubs' total revenue by 2025-2026. So 70%. We're looking at that 70% margin. Now, according to what I've already said, and my own kind of research that I've done, Arsenal generate about 700 million. And I've just explained that that was research that I'd done about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, so it was close to 700, maybe 600 and something million. Yeah, since then it's gone up. It's increased. So, and it might not have increased by a significant amount or massive amounts, but it's increased 110% with Champions League that comes into play, etc., etc. So there is no problem with Arsenal, being affected by FFP rules and regulations, basically. And so what the media is spilling, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Then you've got the Premier League's FFP rules and regulations, and it says this is where the crux of Europe's major spending. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. So this is where the crux of Europe's major spending has taken place as of late. The Premier League has developed into a cash haven, and Todd Bowley has seemingly made a mockery of FFP since becoming the Chelsea owner in 2022. Nevertheless, the Premier League has its own laws regarding clubs' finances, accounting, and good governance. These regulations are available to view in the Premier League handbook. Yeah, the league has several financial rules in place, including requirements for clubs to pay transfer fees, salaries, and it's taxable on time. They must also submit accounts annually and disclose payments made to agents. Now, this is the one, this payments made to agents. When they were doing their accounts and they started looking at that Nicolas Pepe one, that's when they realized Raul Sanelli had been up to some mischief. Anyway, so there's nothing actually here telling me anything. I've just kind of clicked up this handbook. Now, this handbook is, we just quickly share this handbook. This is the Premier League handbook. This is available online for anyone to actually download. We'll be here for years trying to run through this, but I just want to see if we can actually find the part where it's. I'm sure it's not even as Just trying to find we'll be here for years. The writing is so small as well. I doubt anyone's going to be able to see it. But we're looking for the accounting section and where operation of finance section. Okay, league competitions. Yeah, I should have actually looked at this beforehand, because we'll be here for ages. But I don't think the FFP is as strict as what we've seen with UEFA. And again, I just don't think there's any way that Arsenal are affected here by FFP. I would like to know what you guys think in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, do subscribe to the channel. I'm going to run through some of these comments now. Based on what we've just kind of run through, do you feel like Arsenal are restricted? Arsenal are generating, close to 700 million annually as a football club every single season. And that will continue to increase. Their overheads are only about 450 to maybe 500 million for a season, giving them about 200 million plus profit every single season, right? However, they decide to use that 200 million or make that 200 million look is however they decide to do that, right? And they can do that in various different ways. But give me your thoughts anyway. Will Arsenal spend money in January and get this Ivan Toney deal done? Press Control plus F and search FFP. Let me see if that works. Control F and FFP. Well, I type FFP and it's not finding anything. Let me put finances. Maybe it's because I'm doing it in capitals. I don't know. No, it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything. Yeah, you know what? I should have actually found it. I should have actually run through it before I went type financial. Yeah, I just done that as well. I thought it because I was doing it in capitals, but I've taken capitals off. It's just not. It's not actually moving the things. Not finding anything for me. Really weird. But it's really interesting, and I just don't think there is anything that's preventing Arsenal from getting a deal done for Ivan Toney or for any other player at this moment in time. The media are talking about FFP. I don't think the media know what they're talking about. I think they're just trying to gain some sort of traction, trying to get attention for their bullshit. Because Arsenal are generating enough money, and Arsenal have made enough cutbacks over the past 3 years, as well as increased that revenue that they're getting. The only stumbling block for Arsenal and any other club was COVID, and that was in 2020. And obviously, Arsenal had to do whatever they did throughout that 12 months to kind of get themselves through. Since then, they've increased the financial operation by 50%. The amount of money Arsenal have been spending since then has been ridiculous. We've spent like 400 million or nearly 500 million since then. So there is no problem with FFP. The only thing that some people are going to mention is Arsenal selling players. But in Arsenal there's other loopholes. Come on, man. We hired a lawyer the other day to shut down this referee situation. Yeah, because he used the word disgraceful. And you're telling me there's no loopholes for Arsenal to now splash more cash to guarantee themselves the title this season? Of course there is. FFP are not on Arsenal's neck whatsoever. Arsenal have been abiding by FFP rules and regulations. There's no pressure. They are good. They are good based on everything that we've looked at and based on everything that you can go and find for yourself online. It's just that people don't bother to do it, and what happens is they just buy into what the media is saying and they follow what the media is saying. Do you understand? But Ivan Toney to Arsenal is something that Arsenal are trying to get done. And according to the latest reports, as we've already read at the top of the stream, Arsenal are investigating the situation. They are looking at ways they can get the deal done. Now, £100 million is what Brentford or the media are telling us Brentford want. I don't think Brentford is stupid enough to be sitting there demanding £100 million. We know Ivan Toney wants Arsenal Football Club. I've been letting you guys know this for the past couple of weeks. He's been letting us guys know this for the past couple of weeks. The next move is just getting a deal done with Brentford. It's just the negotiation of that, and this is where this investigation, according to the media, are coming from. Now we don't know, how true this is. I mean, Fabrizio Romano is the one that is actually sharing the information. As we do know, Fabrizio Romano is everybody's go-to source. In terms of this investigation, however, we've got the Independent talking about it, various other sources talking about it as well. I mean, it's like the news of the town this morning. But what do you guys think? Do comment down below. Let's run through these comments. So I'm waffling away. There's a will, there's a way. Arsenal will stun us in these transfer season again. No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Jay says, I don't really support these frauds, Arteta and his players. I support the club. Hope this era ends soon, he says. Arsenal has become too predictable. Even if Arteta has a possessional style of play, Odegaard should vary the attack and try and be more direct sometimes. It all seems to, you know what? That's something that we need to work on, man. That is something that we need to work on. What we got going on in here? Happy New Year to you, Wax. Big up you, my guy. Wax, we could bring Sambi back for midfield and save us money to sell Jorginho and El Neni. Sambi got himself an assist the other day. I didn't even see the full game. I just see the goal itself. And yeah, I think Lokonga's done and dusted at Arsenal, really. I think he'll generate himself a few pounds from playing at Luton, and then we'll move him on. Big up the Mafia boss. Big up everyone in the building. Big up Wax and the gang. 3 points is a must today. The lads better be on it. Absolutely, man. Do Arsenal have the war chest to buy Toney at 100 million? We really need this guy. I think we should pay installments. I mean, that's how we can work it out. That's all Arsenal need to do at this moment in time is kind of figure out how they can get this deal done. I don't think there is any situation with FFP. I think it's just Arsenal. What the main situation is for Arsenal. I'll tell you what the main situation is for Arsenal, and it would be a concern for any business. This is the reason why I would say certain decisions that have been made by Mikel Arteta, well, not Mikel Arteta, but by Richard Garlick and Edu as well. We have to put him in on it. Were incompetent, and one of those decisions was actually giving West Ham 100 million or committing to 100 million to West Ham over a course of 24 months or however long it was. It was 2 years, isn't it? Less than that, could be 18 months or something close to 2 years. That right there puts Arsenal under financial strain, because we need to ensure that we've got enough money to continue building our squad, commit to the debts that we already have. Now, I'm talking about player debts, and I actually said it in one of the other streams the other day. We still owe this Declan Rice money. We still owe other players' teams money, in this thing, because we're paying installments. But those incompetent decisions have put us in a position where it's like, do we actually want to spend any more money as a business, or do we actually want you to just go out there and get us results right now? Now, looking at the team, we know that these players are not going to get us where we want. We're lacking a striker. We need a striker. So we have to hope that Stan Kroenke or KSC say, all right, cool. All right, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt due to what you have done, and we'll commit to another 50 million in January. Because that's all we need. We just need that green light. Arsenal have definitely got the money to do it. But as a business, are you going to be stupid enough to do it and not get the result, and then put yourself in more of in more debt? In that sense, it's not even debt, but it's a financial commitment that you don't necessarily need. It's a financial commitment that I might have to take from somewhere else in 6 months' time due to, I don't know, something might happen and something crashes, and I don't know, because as a business, you need these contingencies. You need to make sure that you are a step ahead of what's going on, right? And you need to make sure that money's coming in, and you need to find new ways of how you're making money and blah 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 blah. So as a business, they need to make sure that if we commit to this, is it going to be worth our while? Is it going to be worth our while based on what we've already spent on this project over the past 4 years? Based on what we have to already commit to over the next, coming months and years. And the owner has to then say to himself, all right, cool, I'll commit to the 50 million, or no, I need you just to get me results. I need results now. I need this. It might not even be the Premier League. It might just be, just get me second again. If you get me second again, I'll give you another 250 million again. It might be something stupid. I don't know. But on that based on that logic, you then think, well, why wouldn't you just go and put the 50 million down on the table and get Ivan Toney then? Do you understand? So, look, it's a decision that these owners need to make. Have Arsenal got the money to do it? Yes, they have. But will they back Arteta? That is the question. Now, based on what is being said, is that Arteta is driving this bus. We know Arteta is driving this bus, and he is demanding that we get a striker. We've been told over the past couple of weeks that Arsenal are targeting a centre-back, they're targeting a midfielder. That's been the priority. After the last performance against West Ham, not even just the last performance, based on a number of performances that we have seen this season, us fans have been demanding for a striker. Mikel Arteta was not stupid to say, no, actually, we're going to neglect the striker role and we're going to target a centre-back and centre midfielder. I mean, if he does that, then I'll be questioning this guy altogether. I already question the guy, but I'll be like this. I wouldn't know what to do at that point. It just wouldn't make any sense to me. And you might as well say title over. But if Arteta feels the way us fans feel right now, and behind the scenes he is pushing to get Ivan Toney done. He wants Ivan Toney, and Ivan Toney wants Arsenal, and that's exactly what is happening here. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think, man? Is Ivan Toney going to come to Arsenal Football Club? Michael Olise for Saka. Saka has been average at best. Michael Olise is a player that I would definitely sign. Michael Olise I'll bring them in. They would replace, for me, they would instantly replace Reece Nelson and Smith Rowe. I would sell Reece Nelson, I'll sell Smith Rowe, and I'll sign Michael Olise and Eze. Yeah, I'll sign those two from Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace can't tell man no. Crystal Palace might be able to hold out for a bit of money. I mean, Olise just signed a new contract in the summer. I'm pretty sure, you put pressure on that and you put the right money down on the table, Crystal Palace will say, yeah, I think for a Michael Olise right now, because he signed a new 5-year deal in the summer, I think if you go to Crystal Palace and say, yeah, here's 60 million, and I'm looking to pay most of the 60 million up front, Crystal Palace are taking that. Crystal Palace are taking that. They're on the verge of getting a new manager. Like, Roy Hodgson is coming to the end of his career. These men are ready to do what's necessary to keep their business afloat. And what's necessary to keep their business afloat right now, based on how their current business conditions are already set, is by selling Michael Olise and Eze. That's going to be their next two moves. And it's about the amount of money. I think 60 million is about right for Michael Olise, for both players. You go to Crystal Palace and say, you know what, here's £100 million right now for both of your players. And you sit down with both of those players, you let them know we're giving you 120, 130k contracts, mad bonuses. You get that, deals are done. Deals are done. It's just about how much do Arsenal want to get it done. Crystal Palace ain't no, come on, man. Crystal Palace ain't no team that have been selling players for big money. You have to remember here, right? Brighton put themselves in that type of position because they had already sold big players for big money. When you're a team that have never done that, come on, man. Did they actually even sell Zaha? I think Zaha left for free. Like, they couldn't even sell Zaha. So Crystal Palace is just a walkover. You go to them with 60 million for Michael Olise, and he's yours. He is literally yours. Wax, what's the rumours about Tomiyasu and Reece Nelson on loan? I think that's nonsense. I keep Tomiyasu and sell Reece Nelson on a permanent deal. Big up my guy Abdullah. Absolutely, man. Reece Nelson, there's reports that Wolves want Reece Nelson and Sevilla want Reece Nelson. We did do a video or a stream on that the other day. And Tomiyasu is back in training. I don't think Tomiyasu is going anywhere. He's been phenomenal this season. In fact, Tomiyasu has been like top 3 this season. Top 3 players this season, Tomiyasu, based on performance, everything that he's put in or put on the table, he has been on it. Make sure we are hitting the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hit those likes. Get over 50 likes on this video, man. Let's keep hitting that like button. Happy New Year to every single one of you that, step in this building. We appreciate every single one of you. Arsenal will not be signing any strikers 100% in January, says Afsa. He's not optimistic whatsoever. Listen, I know that Arsenal have got the money to get it done. I just can't, I really, really can't see Arsenal saying, you know what, we're not going to sign a striker in January. It just doesn't make any sense. We are going to run with Eddie and Jesus. No, man. And then imagine if one of those guys get injured. Come on. Mikel Arteta has to be pushing the board for a striker. He has to be. I reckon he's pushing the board for a striker and a defender. We're gonna get a defender on loan. The defender that we're looking to get on loan, or we're trying to get on loan. Let's actually move on to other topics. Actually, I'll get back to your comments in a minute. We've only spoken about Ivan Toney in this video, but there's still more to actually run through. What time do we kick off? We kick off at 2 o'clock, so we'll run this stream till 1:30. We've got another half an hour. Yeah. So make sure you keep getting those comments in, keep hitting that like button, share this video, keep getting more people involved. Anyone that's got any questions, bang it in the comment section. All of that. So let me just quickly switch over here. We've got Mohamed Elneny actually attracting concrete interest from Trabzonspor, but also more clubs are keen on signing him. Besiktas, as we know, had they've had a long-term interest in Mohamed Elneny. And then you've got Galatasaray and then you've got Saudi clubs, and they're exploring the conditions of the move. And that's according to Fabrizio Romano. So big up Mohamed Elneny. I mean, we're not going to get any money for Mohamed. We probably just those clubs that we've just spoken about might be kind enough, and they might respect Arsenal enough to say, you know what, we'll give you 2 million for Mohamed Elneny, and that might just be some sort of compensation due to the fact that he is, in his last 6 months of his contract. But there are some rules over this as well. Actually, I think if you're in your last 6 months of your contract, but you're under the age of 24, you're free to speak to clubs. You're free to no. It might be the other way around. I think it's the other way around, actually. So if you're under 24, you are free to speak to clubs, but you have to then pay a compensation if you agree a deal with another club. Even if you join them at the end of the season, that under 24-year-old still needs to get a compensation. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I mean, you still get a compensation from an under 24-year-old if you agree a contract with them in their last 6 months and they join you at the end of that 6 months. I can't remember. But I think these clubs would actually respect Arsenal enough to say, you know what, here's $1 million, here's 2 million just for Mohamed Elneny, especially one of those Saudi clubs. But yeah, Mohamed Elneny is a player that could help us in terms of come off the wage bill. So, if he comes off the wage bill and Arsenal can only spend 70% of the annual income on players and transfers, etc., then him coming off the wage bill alleviates pressure and allows us to then use that money elsewhere, which is pretty awesome, right? So, that's another way. And there's going to be various other ways. Obviously, we spoke about Eddie Nketiah. We're not in this stream, but actually, I haven't released that video yet. I've got a video dropping. Maybe today or tomorrow. Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, and Emil Smith-Rowe all being linked with moves away. I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't want to take away from that video, but that video will be dropping and I want you guys to watch that. And there are 3 possibilities that can help us as well. So let's see. But who will be coming? That's the most important thing. Who will be coming? None of it. You know what? These days, my boys have been making me watch the way I talk, blood. I swear down. It's so annoying. I just don't care anyway. Right? But I always clock it and I'm like, blood. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're big men. We say it as it is, man. Who else will be joining Arsenal Football Club in January? Will there be anyone? Obviously, we've done a number of videos over the past couple of days as well, letting you guys know that no one is really, or Arsenal aren't really going to be making anything happen today, in this window, because of this FFP stuff. So we don't actually know, but based on what we've kind of discussed in this video, there is availability to actually spend that money. And another player that Arsenal are trying to actually get on loan is that guy, Inacio. Let me quickly find this report. I've got everything shrunk up. Can't even see nothing on my screen. Make sure we are hitting the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. Please. So, yeah, it's Inacio plays for Sporting. Does he play for Sporting Lisbon? He does play for Sporting Lisbon, doesn't he? Oh, we've got a few interesting ones, actually. A few different players that apparently are being, or reportedly being linked with a move to Arsenal. Including players, another player that's actually being linked with a move away is Jakub Kiwior. Jakub Kiwior being linked with a move away, away from Arsenal. We've had a few people kind of squash those reports. We had a few people squash those reports. This is one of them not being squashed, but this guy, Peter O, he basically says Arsenal now plan to sell Nketiah in order to make space for centre-back signing. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, Nketiah isn't good enough, in my opinion. I've seen enough of Nketiah to say, you're a decent player, and probably with more time, you will come good. But what we need right now is a good enough player to step in if Saliba or Gabriel step out. Whenever they step out, the player that steps in needs to be a top-level player. And then obviously with this FFP, Arsenal apparently, reportedly, allegedly, are having to get rid of Nketiah in order to make a deal like that happen, any type of deal like that happen for an improvement centre-back to come in. The improvement centre-back that they're looking at would be Nketiah, as I've already mentioned. Let me just put this on the screen. I thought I had all of this on the screen. I don't even have it. My bad. Make sure we are getting those comments in, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. Keep hitting that like button. Mods in the chat. Make sure you're encouraging everyone to hit the like button. Let's just quickly put this on the screen. So this is obviously Nketiah. Nketiah, in order to make space for a new centre-back, the 23-year-old defender has been deemed surplus to requirements at the Emirates, and the Gunners are now open to offers. Arteta has told that sales need to be made to make space in his squad. So that's kind of like all the reports that I've been keeping you guys up to date on. You know, players' sales need to be made in order for players to come in. That's what the narrative is at this moment in time. I'm not too sure how true it is, but that's what the media are kind of pushing at this moment. That's what the media are pushing. Now, it's funny that this guy's put this out there and said that Arsenal are open to selling Nketiah, because instantly was shut down by another report published by the Arsenal Informer. And I know Arsenal Informer are nobody, but they have been working heavily with AFTV. And AFTV obviously are the leading company of the fan base, of Arsenal fan base, and they became a major entity in this industry now. So they work directly with AFTV, and they've basically come out and said, listen, Arsenal have no interest in selling Nketiah. Yeah, that's what they're basically saying. Now, I'm not too sure how true it is, but it is what it is. Nketiah could potentially leave. I wouldn't be too disappointed with that. But ultimately, the player that Arsenal really want to bring in is that guy Nketiah, and because the links between Nketiah and Arsenal have been really strong. I'm just trying to quickly find them. Just bear me for 1 second. I've got so much going on in the Twitter account. Make sure you guys go and follow my Always Arsenal Twitter account as well. We always repost and retweet stuff about Arsenal, and especially the transfers and stuff. I'm just quickly finding it. Just bear me for 1 sec, ladies and gentlemen. Keep hitting that like button. Even the situation with Aaron Ramsdale, what's happening with Aaron Ramsdale? He's another one that's being used as a make way for another player. We've been linked with so many young players, all these different dons that we've been linked with as well. Here it is. Now, Ekrem Connor, I can't really say Ekrem Connor's reliable, but Ekrem Connor's the guy that's actually put this one out there. This one's in particular. That I kind of retweeted the other day. However, I do know a number of reports have been linking us to Nketiah. Arsenal want to get a deal done. He's got a minimum release clause in his contract of about £52 million. Again, when it comes to money, Arsenal won't have a problem with spending this money. Arsenal can spend the money. There's obviously other complications, and I think I honestly, like I said earlier in the stream, I think it's Stan Kroenke just giving the green light because they don't want to make stupid and incompetent decisions. And one of the decisions that are incompetent, I'm telling you that, even though Declan Rice is a fantastic signing, and people might dislike the fact that we use the word incompetent when it comes to that deal, with describing that deal, because Declan Rice is a fantastic deal, phenomenal player, but the deal, the agreement behind the scenes was stupid. It was stupid. We put ourselves under a lot of pressure with that deal, and Arsenal therefore need to deliver, and that's how the owners would be looking at it. And that's the reason that's why I call it incompetent, again, because I'm looking at it from a different perspective to most people. But when I see it, people are going to say, "Oh no, but Declan Rice is a fantastic deal, fantastic." It's just it's just the negotiation side of it. I don't entirely agree with it. And as an owner, I would assume that Stan Kroenke and them lot would think the same way. They would feel the same way. So therefore, I'm not just going to easily free up money for you again just to go and spend in January, knowing that I've got to commit to this 100 million in 2 seasons, bro. You man better go and get me results right now. I need that Champions League right now. That's how you would be thinking about it, though. The team's out as well. So the team's out. I'll flick it onto that bit in a second. Wax, do you think we'll sell Thomas Partey in January or Jorginho? No, I don't think any of them are going. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for Arsenal to sell any of those players. The players that need to go right now for Arsenal are the fringe players, the Rob Holdings of this club. Who are the Rob Holdings of this club right now? It's sad to say it, but ESR is one of them. I'm sorry. People are hoping that ESR plays today. Is he playing today? He might have played today. I hope he is playing. I do want to actually see him play. But a part of me just knows that he's not actually good enough. Let me get the team. Let me get the team on the screen for you guys. I know everyone's already seen it. But I have to be totally honest, man. Zinchenko misses out today. Good that he misses out, man. Good that he misses out. That Inacio guy, though, just to quickly last touch on it, Arsenal are trying to get a deal done, and they're trying to get that done on loan. They're trying to get that deal done on loan with the obligation to buy in January, in the summer, for the 52 million release clause. That's what Arsenal are trying to do with that one. And that's my understanding of Arsenal's move. Ekram Connors just said Arsenal are moving forward to sign the player. That's all he said. He's really basic with what he says. But all the reports, combining them together, trying to understand trying to understand the transfer. Arsenal were apparently trying to get a loan deal done for Inacio. And commit to the 52 million release clause at the end of the season. So again, it's really hard, really difficult what Arsenal were doing here. But yeah, Zinchenko, he is not playing. Where's the team? Tomiyasu back with Arsenal's squad today. Good to see. So this is, we've got Arsenal there. I don't want to see this guy's one. Here we go. So this is who we're playing against: Fulham, Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel Kivior's out there, Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Eddie Nketiah up front. So no Smith Rowe. Disappointing, actually, because a lot of people were asking for Smith Rowe. I'm telling you now, look, if Smith Rowe can't make an impact in a game like this, or come off the bench, because he hasn't. He's come off the bench a few times, hasn't really made an impact. Had a decent shot the other day. So I just think these are the players, these are the Rob Holdings that I was talking about today. And that's no disrespect to ESR, but I think he's just not at a level where, you know, he can help Arsenal get over the line. It's just not it. He's not it. He's injury prone. He's just not consistent enough. He's just really not consistent enough. And then the same can be said for Eddie Nketiah. And I think there is something in the pipeline for Eddie. But Arsenal again are kind of contemplating their options at this moment in time, because they want to make sure they can get the most money for Eddie. So they're thinking, all right, how do we get the most money for Eddie? Do we get the most money for Eddie by selling him in January? No. Do we get the most money for Eddie if we keep him to the end of the season, give him minutes to demonstrate his worth, which they have been doing? Eddie, just to let you guys know, Eddie's played 18 games so far this season with only 5 goals. Nothing to kind of rave about whatsoever. But I mean, he's on the verge of doing better than he did last season or the season before, I think it was, in terms of like the amount of goals he scored. For Eddie Nketiah, I know he's disappointed, but it's very underwhelming that we have this player who, over the past 5 years, has not been able to hit double figures in goals or even GA. Like as a striker, that's really disappointing. A player that is 24 years old. So I think Mikel Arteta ultimately knows that Eddie Nketiah is just not the answer, but what he's going to do is try and drive up the player's value. You know, one great thing about, you know, Arsenal's position that we're in right now is that it also helps drive up a player's value. So let's keep Eddie Nketiah. Let's win the league or finish second, hope we win the league. And that right there still puts us in a position where we can say, all right, Eddie Nketiah was a part of that. Eddie Nketiah has proven in one or two of those games that he had something, and you got to see it because the eyes were on Arsenal at the time. So on that basis, come on, give us 40 million for Eddie. And I think if we hold on to Eddie until the summer, we could probably get about 40 million for him. Crazy to say it. Because the other day I was saying we probably won't. But I think based on what I've just said there, and we do have a good season, we have a really good season, win the Premier League or come second, I think we could probably sell Eddie for about 35. Probably got Balogun money. And that's what Arsenal are thinking. Arsenal are, waiting and contemplating that, But I think they'll keep Eddie until the end of the season, then sell him. Arteta seems to have sentimental attachment to Eddie. He does. There's something going on behind the scenes, clearly. We've got another Darth in the book. We've got two Darths in the book. We've got Darth Maul and Darth Vader. Big you guys up, man. Darth, it's his stepson, Edward. Oh my God, Edward. That's my brother's name. Fucking allow it. I said we're talking about Eddie anyway. I'm not talking about Sick. Is his stepson Edward? That's funny. Yeah. Lost. Absolutely lost. Why not play Tommy instead of Kivior? Maybe Tommy's just not fully fit yet. Big up Andrew. Wax, I think we are selling him. Why is Smith on the bench? Yeah, I think Smith Rowe's done at Arsenal, and I just don't think Smith Rowe can, get to the level. I said to you guys before, I prefer Conor Gallagher. I think Conor Gallagher is levels above Smith Rowe. People might disagree with me, but he's been Chelsea's player this season. Best player this season, obviously. Eddie Nketiah will score a penalty. Or Eddie Nketiah will score. Pin this comment. I'm reading everything wrong, but my eyesight is mad. I can't even lie to you, bro. My eyesight is mad. Arsenal will win 3-0. Andrew says if he ain't fit, then why is he on the bench? So he can obviously come. When I say he's not fit, did I say he's not fit or he's not fully fit? He's not fully fit. So having him on the bench, bringing him on for 20 minutes, kind of helps him get fit. Big up Tayab in the building. Now, my love and respect to you, Tayab. I see you, broski. Lion trading as well. Zinchenko is not playing because of a slight calf issue. White Enzeni don't support Saka. You know what? I'm starting to fall out of love with White. I can't lie to you guys. I'm not too sure if the feeling is mutual, but Ben White is starting to show me that he's not at a level where we need him to be as a right back. Saliba has come in and raised the standards to the next level. I can't lie. How did we? Because remember, before we had William Saliba, man was rated. Not me. I need to stop using the word man because I hate that word. No, I don't hate it, but I just hate using it in that kind of way. But people were saying that Saliba was Ben White was this, that, the other. Since Saliba has come in and raised the standards of defending and what we expect, we've now seen how poor Ben White is. And Ben White is poor. He's actually a poor defender. He's not great defending at defending, sorry. He's probably just as poor as Zinchenko, but has more experience, so therefore can manage certain situations better than what Zinchenko does. But ultimately, Ben White's poor. He's poor, and he's starting to show himself, and that's because of the standards that William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes have actually took our defending to. It's just to a next level. So I think we need to kind of in the summer maybe looking at bringing in another right back. And obviously, I know we've got Yuri and Timber. Still remains to be seen how Yuri and Timber's going to perform. But I think we might need to get ourselves another right back. And I mean, an explosive. It could be Jeremy Frimpong. Arsenal have been heavily linked with Jeremy Frimpong. Even Fabrizio Romano spoke about this on his podcast or in one of his articles. That Arsenal are really monitoring the situation, are really close to trying to get a deal done. You know, that's the aim for Arsenal, wanting to get a deal done with Jeremy Frimpong. We've been linked with Jeremy for about 12 months now. There has to be something to it, especially if Fabrizio Romano is still talking about it. So let's just see how that one develops. But I think we ultimately need a new right back, someone that is going to support Saka, give Saka a bit more. Even though Ben White's not does sometimes support Saka, gives him the overlap and etc. etc. Don't get it twisted. Ben White does look good in some of those moments. I do like Ben White in some of those moments, but just his overall play, I just don't think he's the answer. I think we need to get a better player, a much more put together player who understands the role of just controlling that right channel and getting the best out of Saka. And I think there's a number of players out there. You know, Frimpong definitely is one of them. Some of them might not like this one, but Hakimi would be another. I would, he would be my number one. If you see the way he plays the game, it's just, he would make Saka look like a proper world-class winger, bro. You know, in them way there. Like you see Kyle Walker, if we had a Kyle Walker, like a prime Kyle Walker, he would make Saka look like a world-class winger to a next level. And it would take so much pressure away from Saka, where Saka will then be able to do what he does best. Right now, Saka has to do a bit more because he doesn't always have Ben White doing what he needs to be doing. Do you know them way there? Big up Dean, though. Big up Ambrose says, I hear you, Wax. It's true. Yeah, Ben White, we need to kind of move him on, man. Who would you bring in? Same thing I said last December. We need 3 veteran players who want to win the Prem this season. Levels have dropped. Man are too overreactionary with certain man. Players have good games. Players can't have good games. Or players have got to have good games all the time for us to not be reactionary. Is that what you kind of mean? GL Block says, where the F is Hugh Wizzy these days? And you know what? I asked myself the same question. I've actually tried to get in contact with him. I've had no response. So I don't know, man. I hope he is well, man. I hope he is well. He's done no streams for months and months and months. I've seen nothing. But I've actually messaged him to see if he's okay, and I haven't had a response. But I do hope he's okay, man. I do hope he's okay. He's a squad don, nothing more. We need a new right back in the summer. Absolutely, man. I agree with that. 100% agree with that. He can also play on the right side if you want to invert. Who are we talking about? Frimpong. Yes, Frimpong is great. Frimpong plays on the right. He can play on the left if you wanted to invert, you mean. Yeah, he plays on the right. He is tearing it up in the Bundesliga at the moment, and it's not like it's a one-off season. He's been tearing up the Bundesliga for a couple of seasons now. And the GA is just ridiculous, man. When you're a right back and you've already got more GA, man's got more GA than our attack. Like, Frimpong at right back has got more GA this season than Gabriel Jesus. Just to put things into perspective, yeah? Frimpong this season has got more GA at right back than Martinelli. You know? Just to put things into perspective. So, and he's been doing that. He's done that back-to-back now at Bayern Leverkusen. And I think Arsenal are definitely wanting to get this one done, you know? Get me? Like the stream if you are a real one. I appreciate that, man. Big up my bro Ed in the building. Kivior at left back says Devesh. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. Man. Crazy. All right, we've got about 40 minutes till that game kicks off. Just going to run through a few more comments, then I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to get myself some food, and I'm going to watch this game as well, man. The honest truth is Saka isn't good enough, says M. Nah, man, you're being mad harsh, boy. You're being mad harsh. So Ramsdale ain't going to get another shot at number 1. Damn. Ramsdale's done. This is what I'm saying. When I said months and months and months ago that Ramsdale is finished, please take me in. There is no way we were bringing David Raya to Arsenal and Ramsdale was getting a shout. No way. Oh, he's on about Doherty. Okay. F Doherty, mate. He ain't making out Arsenal. Are you doing a watch along for the Fulham game, RSD? No, I'm not, man. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I was gonna say this. Like, you know, when I do streams, I can't watch the game. It's mad. It's mad. We missed Tierney. 110%. We missed Tierney, man. Big up Andrew. Tierney is a big miss because Tierney gives you something different. You know, in those games where you need to switch it up, it gives you something different. And the maddest thing is that this goes to show you that Arteta has nothing different, really, because you've sold a player that gives you something different. You have a player that gives you something different. But anytime you played him, you were trying to play him the same way you had Zinchenko playing. So you had nothing different. It's a joke, really, man. We need to step it up and switch it up. Wax, you don't rate Doherty. I thought you're good on the eye test, my guy. Oh, Doherty was playing for Wolves. Doherty that went to Tottenham. Is that the guy you're talking about? I might be talking about the wrong guy. Again, I need to see these guys. Just comment down below, Alex. Are you talking about Doherty that played for Wolves? No, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know who you're talking about then. No, that's what I'm saying. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched him. Luton, G. No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, my G. I do apologize. Man. I haven't seen him, but I will watch him, and I'll give you an opinion. But yeah, man, hopefully Arsenal can get some deals done in January. I think Arsenal will aim to try and get Ivan Toney done. And then maybe another defender. I don't see a midfielder coming in. I think we've got enough in the midfield right now to see us through to the summer. And then we'll sell one or two players, and then we'll get maybe one or two players. Give me the lowdown. Wax, the last stream that Hugh Wizzy did was the Arsenal and Man City game in October the 8th when we beat them 1-0 in the Premier League. Is he okay? I hope nothing bad happened to him. Yeah, and I'm hoping he's okay as well, man. Again, I haven't spoke to him. I've actually messaged him, but no response. What is it? What if it's not Tony, Wax? Who's next? What in terms of like the striker that Arsenal were trying to get? I just think it's obvious. I think it's Ivan Toney. If there's anyone else that you're looking at right now, it can't be anyone else. The reason why it's not even Houseman. It's not even Houseman. I swear down, Arsenal can't. It's not even that Arsenal can't afford Houseman. Arsenal can't afford to bring in foreign players at this moment in time. Arsenal need to focus on homegrown players because they know their next players that they want to get rid of are going to be homegrown. So they need to buy players that are homegrown. They need to find Premier League players that have been playing in the Premier League for a number of years, or homegrown players, English players. That's what Arsenal are looking at. And that's the reason why Ivan Toney, Dominic Solanke, come on, man. You have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to get rid of Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah, ESR, Reece Nelson. They're the players that we want to get rid of, right? They're the same players that Arsenal want to get rid of. I'm telling you. Same players. They're on the list to get rid of. We don't want to just force them out the door. We're waiting. But they're the first. They're the players at the top of the list that Arsenal probably will move on due to the fact that they're not at the level that we need them to be. So on that basis, if we're going to get rid of ESR, Reece Nelson, and Eddie Nketiah within the next 6 months, or say 12 months by this time next year, then they're going to need homegrown players to be over 21 to be in that team. Ivan Toney gives them that. Declan Rice gave us that, you know? So let's see, man. Let's see what Arsenal do. The FFP is the issue as well. Big up Abdullah. We've done FFP earlier on in the stream. Anyone that missed the top of the stream, we actually spoke about the FFP side of things as well. And we come to a slight conclusion that Arsenal are not restricted by FFP. It's just media chatting bullshit. What's really happening with this FFP? What's really happening behind the scenes right now? Just to summarize this up for those that have come late, and this is the last thing I'm going to touch on. Big up every single one of you in the building. I am wrapping this up. I'll big up Kevin in the building. Why do you want Toney that's not played in a year? Well, he hasn't played. It's been about 8 months, and I would still take him. I would still take him. The fact that he hasn't played in a year could actually lower his valuation for us. Who knows? But like I was saying, what I ultimately think right now is Arsenal commit to £240 million in the summer. £240 million. Now, I'm not to say Arsenal don't have money to spend. Arsenal can put money down on the table right now and say, you know what, Ivan Toney, we'll have you. Dusan Vlahovic, we'll have you. Whoever it may be, we'll have you. They've got the money to do it. It's whether they want to risk it. As a business, am I willing to risk this? Or am I going just to say, you know what, I've spent enough. We've committed to enough. We've got this that we need to make sure that we pay off. You need to get me results. So right now it's either, this is the contemplation for Arsenal Football Club. It's either splash the money or don't splash the money because we're waiting for you to give us an ROI. That's it. It's either ROI or continue splashing. ROI or continue splashing. FFP means nothing. Yeah? For those that don't know what ROI is ROI is return on investment. The amount of money that Arsenal spent on the project so far is how much? How much money is Arteta spent so far? Close to £700 million, right? On this project so far. That's what he's done in 4 years. Arsenal haven't seen a return off that. Not one bit, really, other than, you know, obviously Champions League, but player sales, no return. We ain't seen no return on that, have we? Trophies, no return. We ain't seen no return on trophies since we spent that money, have we? No Premier Leagues, no FA Cups, no Carabao Cups. So nothing, right? So as an owner and as a person who owns Arsenal Football Club, you have to think to yourself, do I want to continue putting another, do I want to commit to another 100 million of this project? Or am I just going to say to the manager, bruv, I need results. Give me results. So that's where we're at, man. Arsenal can afford Ivan Toney. It's whether Arsenal want Ivan Toney. And when we say Arsenal, we're talking about KSC. That's literally it. But that's it, man. That's literally it. Make sure we are hitting the like button. It's been an absolute pleasure. Get Mbappe, says Kevin. That's never going to happen. Well, not never. Not right now. When I say never, not right now, currently. But yeah, man. That FFP thing is nonsense. They can spend 110%. This is what I'm saying. But let's see what happens. Anyway, make sure we are hitting the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn on notification bells on, all of that type of stuff. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Hopefully Arsenal win today, man. Hopefully they win. But it should be an easy one, man. Craven Cottage. You can't go in this. Come on. 3-0 to the Arsenal. 3-0, blood. 3-0. Anyway, I'll see you on the other side. Peace.